Good morning, students. I'm Dr. Harshita. I'll be taking OCAD for you, that is Organization, Change and Development. It is one of the core topics of core HR, and you will be reading it for this semester. And the code is 20 MBA HR 404. And again, it is entirely theoretical paper for 100 marks, and you have 6 modules for that, wherein you will be learning about different aspects of organization change, what happens when organization goes for change. So in the first module, you will be learning about nature of 21st century organization, how to define organization change, the roots of organization change, and environmental forces driving the change, the implications of that, what are the planned changes and intended results for that, and change implementers, change initiators, change facilitators, change recipients, and all those. In module 2, building and energizing the need for change, you will be learning about internal external data and how organization should be ready for going for the change, and also difference between organization vision and change vision. You have two kinds of visions over here. And in the next module, module 3, you'll be learning about measuring the change. How do we measure the change? And you'll be exposed to the related balance scorecard or exposure calculator, organization change agent, data gathering, diagnosis, and feedback. And next is module 4, which tells about models of change. So what exactly is models of change? You will be learning about different modules that were developed by different economists for handling the change management process in an organization. So starting from Kurt Levin's model to the latest model, that is Adkar model, which helps to go with a change in organization and some of the key terminologies which are there for the organization change. In module 5, you'll be learning about the organization development. Until this module 4, that is 1 to 4, you learned about what exactly is organization change, how do the organization has to process itself, and how do they have to adapt itself for the changes. Now it is organization development, that is once the change has been made, how the progress of the organization should be, will be, history, concept, and different theories for that, and what are the different values of organization change, ethical issues which are there with the organization change. And in sixth module, you will be learning about practicing and consulting process, different methods for data gathering, issues, ethical issues which are there in the data gathering, diagnosis, feedback, merger and acquisitions, and organization health and association in India. So these were about the all 6 modules that was there for your syllabus. Virtually every organization at some or the other point undergoes a transition or change in order to remain viable and scale. So whether onboarding new employees or growing a department or merging with another company, these changes can have a significant impact on the trajectory of your business or that particular business. So change is to cause transformation. Change is to alter or modify existing things to the needful state. The moving from an existing state to the desired state is change. It seeks to change attitudes, values, and management practices in an effort to improve organization performance. Ultimate goal of organization development is to structure the organizational environment such that managers and employees can use their skills and abilities to the fullest. So change management is a term that is used to refer to the change or transitioning people, groups, companies, and projects from one state to another. When this term is applied to businesses and projects, it may refer to a process of transitioning the scope of the project in such a way that it can meet changing requirements and objectives. So what happens is that after a certain point in time, some changes may need to be introduced as far as functioning, operation, marketing, finance, or other aspects of a business. So it also involves the application of structured methods and a pre-planned framework so as to steer business from its current state to a desired state. So organization change refers to the actions in which a company or business alters a major components of its organization, such as its culture, people, product, the underlying technologies, or infrastructure it uses to operate or its internal processes. This change has a significant impact on the organization as a whole. Mr. John Bull defines organization change as when an organizational system is disturbed by some internal or external force, change frequently occurs. Change as a process is simply modification of the structure or process of a system. It may be good or bad, the concept is disruptive only. Organizations may change their strategy or purpose, introduce new products or services, change the way they produce and sell, change their technology, enter new markets, close down departments or plants, or they might hire new employees also. They might acquire other organizations, or they can be acquired by other organizations. So, organizational change management is a method of leveraging change to bring about a successful resolution, and it typically includes three major phases: preparation, implementation, and follow through. Next is the nature of change. An organization is an open system, which implies that it is in a constant interaction and interdependent relationship with its environment. Any change can occur in its environment, such as change in consumer taste and preferences, competition, economic policies of the government, etc. So, when you consider change, it has to cause transformation. So, what is the basic nature of change? Basic nature of change is to cause transformation, and it is to alter or modify existing things to the needful state. It also seeks to change attitudes, values, and management practices in an effort to improve organizational performance. Areas of change can be functioning, operations, marketing, finance, or the other aspects. They can also involve the application of structured methods. Objective is to enhance the organization performance, and it leads to higher rate of interest and realization of benefits. Also, the change supports adapting to new technology and methodologies to meet customer demand. It is a response towards economy, regulatory forces, and technology, or even political reasons. First order and second order change, which the economist calls transactional change and transformational change. In first order change, some features of the organizations change and goes by many different labels: transactional, evolutionary, adaptive, incremental, or continuous change. In second order change, the nature of the organization is fundamentally and substantially altered, and second order change goes by many different labels. For example, transformational, revolutionary, radical, or discontinuous change. OD programs are directed towards both first and second order change, with an increased emphasis on in second order transformational change. So, an organization is an open system, which implies that it is a constant interaction and interdependent relationship with its environment. Any change can occur in its environment, such as change in consumer taste and preferences, as we saw in this. For example, Microsoft can be taken as an example for working out the change management plan. When Satya Nadella became the top notch of Microsoft in 2014, he took over a company where the different departments were fiercely competitive. Often they themselves treated each other departments as rivals rather than allies. So he restructured the company to eliminate many of the internal divisions and focus employees around shared goals. Google achieved transformation by creating greater division. The company's research and development worked on such a variety of products that it was becoming hard for upper management to focus and prioritize. Then, what was the solution? He split them into multiple companies, each of them with a narrow focus, answering to the new parent corporation, Alphabet. Changes may also occur in mission and strategy, leadership style, or organization culture. See, whatsoever angle your organization wants to go for a change, you can get into that kind of system wherein you will have a positive effect of that particular change. So, what causes this organization change? There are many factors for organization change, for making the organization going for their change, and some of the most common might be new leadership at the helm of the company or within its departments, or due to shift in the organization team structure, or it might be due to implementation of new technology, or also due to eruption of new business models. It may involve a change in company strategy, policies, procedures, or culture. The change may be planned years in advance or may be forced upon an organization because of a shift in the environment. As we saw the example earlier, shrinking the workforce brought effective for British Airways in the 1980s. How, having gobbled up rival airlines, the company was burdened with too many employees and routes. New board chair Lord King increased profits by slashing the workforce, cutting unprofitable routes, and modernizing the planes. To prevent employee backlash, he addressed them before the firings began, explaining the need and obtaining support from employees who stayed with the company. Organization change is necessary for companies to succeed and grow. Why is that so? Change management drives the successful adoption and usage of change within the business. It allows employees to understand and commit to the shift and work effectively during it. Without effective organization change management, company transactions can be rocky and expensive in terms of both time and resources. They can also result in lower employee morale and competent skill development. Ultimately, a lack of effective change management can lead the organization to fail. So, what is a manager's role in organizational change? Within an organization, every employee has a different role in assisting with the change, right? So, while many staff members may complete heavily detailed work, senior level executives with longer tenure might have different goals, wherein even within management, the leaders and managers perform different tasks. So, leaders, for example, have to be courageous by taking on risk. They need to look at the big picture and articulate high level change to the company, explain why it is occurring, and motivate people to support the change transition. To be successful as a leader, you must be insightful and know who to put in charge of carrying out change processes. Managers are more concentrated on making business transitions successful. They focus on implementing change by determining the discrete steps that need to happen and their sequence. Managers are also typically responsible for allocating resources such as personnel and determining how success is measured. Ideally, they'll also be managers, but it's a primary responsibility of a manager to know how to design, direct, and shape change processes. So to achieve this, they should have a wide variety of skills. That is the skill to communicate clearly and effectively, which helps the team members and the colleagues to actively participate and even listen. And again, a highly developed level of emotional intelligence, strong organization skills, an eye for detailed problem solving skills, decision making skills, and delegating skills. To prepare for organizational change, it's essential to first define the organization change, understand why it's critical, and also to support from the colleagues. So, change management doesn't stop once you have successfully executed the transition, but throughout the and following the process, you need to continuously assess outcomes, measure the data, train employees on new technologies and business practices, and readjust goals as necessary. So, what is the nature of 21st century organization? Business in 21st century has been marked by an increase in the use of technology to create new ideas, market those ideas to consumers and customers as well, and communicate the message of a brand to those around the world. As a result, this increase in computerized resources, the economy has become more global than ever before. Companies are able to instantly interact with businesses and potential customers in faraway regions of the world. Organizations best positioned to thrive in this new market and share similar characteristics. Apple sells phones and computers but outsources manufacturing. Uber is the world's largest car service company but does not own a single vehicle. Airbnb is the largest provider of accommodation but doesn't own a single building. So, according to a famous quote by Sir Richard Branson, which again signifies the evolution of business, if you run a business, put on top your employees, then your customers, and then your shareholders as well as stakeholders. So, the 21st century business is asset light but owns capital in the form of it might be as software or as patents or brands or customer relationships, right? And these 21st century organizations, they go for loyalty to brand, not country. As a result of global expansion within all industries, the idea of supporting the product of one particular country has become irrelevant in the 21st century. For example, Sony, a Japanese company, you might have known, Japanese based company, right? It maintains a large business presence in USA. This presence employs thousands of people and brings millions upon millions of dollars in revenue and taxes to the country. Likewise, General Electrical is an American firm with a large operational presence in Japan, whereas in the past one would identify herself as an employee of an American firm, seeing a Japanese firm as a competitor. It is now standard practice to align oneself with the brand for which she works. An American employed by Sony is loyal to that firm. General Electric, though an American company, is now viewed as a competitor. So this is how this century companies are working across. Next, let us move on to performance management. Another characteristics of 21st century organization is a change in the methods used in managing the performance of employees. Once upon a time, a manager issued a directive. The assessment of an employee's execution of that directive was carried out solely by the same manager. Although this may have been effective in certain organizations, it leaves room for inconsistencies. For example, in instances when the personalities of a supervisor and employee clash. Multidimensional models for performance management have allowed employees to work in a more self directed manner, providing greater autonomy and, in many cases, increased performance. For example, many organizations have implemented 360-degree reviews in which performance feedback is obtained from an individual supervisor. They might be from direct reports collected as well as the colleagues. Innovation is the core of business in 21st century. Business has put together all the resources and efficiently utilize them to develop out of the box solutions to societal and environmental problems. For example, Elon Musk is a best example for this. He invested his entire fortune that he had earned from the sale of PayPal in Tesla, SpaceX, and now in Hyperloop. For the uninitiated, Tesla Motors designs, manufacturers, and sells electric cars and electric vehicle powertrain components. SpaceX is a space transport services company with the goal of reducing space transportation costs to enable the colonization of Mars, and Hyperloop is a conceptual high speed transportation system. So, this was about performance management system. Perhaps one of the most famous examples of a company that overcame the situation is Harley Davidson. In 1980, no one wanted a Harley. They were a poor quality bike that even leaked oil on the showroom floor. The parent company The parent company, AMF, couldn't find a buyer for them, and 13 Harley managers ended up buying the company. So dramatic changes were needed when the new CEO approached them with top-down authority. First, they laid off 40% of the workforce, salaried and hourly alike, and the remaining employees took a 9% pay cut. Their design team built the Evolution engine and coupled with the sleek design of their Softail product line, sales started to improve once it was done. Perhaps most significantly, they developed the HOG, that is Harley Owners Group, as a way to communicate with their customers. Operating improvements were made, and dealers started looking at Harley as a dependable partner. When they went public in 1986, underwriters were shocked that their IPO raised $25 million more than expected. So this was one of the examples of how an organization change can cause or making changes in the internal working of an organization can improve the performance of the organization as well as the employees. So for today's session, that is video 1 of OCD, we have covered the basics of organization change. So the next topics will be reading in the video 2. Thank you for listening, guys.